Hey, welcome back to GT Canada. Today we're talking about ASTRO Mixamps and headphones, specifically on your PlayStation 5, but this will actually work on your PlayStation 4 as well if you're having problems with your microphone. Now, if you've been part of this channel already and kind of been watching the videos that we've got, I showed you how to set up your ASTRO Mixamp and headphones on your PlayStation 5. If you missed that, and you're on this video trying to figure all these things out, you can check out the video right over here, which will show you how to hook it up in a lot of different configurations. So we show you USB only mode, we show you optical mode with a HDMI optical extractor, similar to what ASTRO will sell you on their website. We show you how to hook up an optical connection directly off of your TV, and the settings that you need to do within your PlayStation 5 to make this all work. Now that you've got it working, you've discovered a new problem, and most people are experiencing this problem. So if you have an ASTRO headset that is this generation, this is a Gen 3 or newer, so this will work on the Gen 4 Mixamp as well as the A50. It works with all generations of A50 with the wireless base station, which has a Mixamp built into it. If you have a Mixamp Gen 1 or Gen 2, this video will not help you. You will be experiencing the same problem. That is distorted mic audio when you talk. Even if you turn the setting all the way down to the lowest setting, you still get distortion, and everybody that you're playing with will yell at you and say, turn your mic down, stop eating your microphone or whatever. If you have a Gen 1 or a Gen 2 Mixamp, the only solution you have is to move that microphone away. So this is your headset. Instead of having it in front of your mouth, you gotta just move it away like this and talk quieter. That's the only option you have. But for the ASTRO A40 Mixamp TR series or the A50, you do have a better option, which allows you to put the mic back in front of your face. So I'm gonna walk you through that right now. The first thing you need to do is make sure that you have the ASTRO Command Center software installed on your computer. It works for your Mac or your PC, and you can get that from astrogaming.com. It's free. You just go there and download it. I'm gonna assume that you already have that software installed, okay? So before we go and make any changes, let's look at what we get when we have just the factory setting. So you can see here, we're going into the settings and we're just pulling up the microphone adjustment. Make sure that you have the USB set to ASTRO Mixamp and not the PlayStation 5 controller. It must be on the Mixamp. And then when we go into the mic, even with it turned all the way down, you can see that the audio peaks. Now I'm talking here at just a regular volume, and I'm gonna turn it up for just a second here so you can hear it directly from that microphone. So you can listen to that. When I talk really loud, it distorts. So now that you've seen what it sounds like right now, let's look at how we're gonna fix that. So what we need to do is take our Mixamp up to our computer. We do not need to take the USB cable from the PlayStation if it's all wired in. You can use any micro USB cable and it'll work just fine. So if you have one from an old phone lying around or whatever, just plug that into the computer and then plug your Mixamp into the computer with that. If you want to, you can take the cable from your Mixamp on your PlayStation and use that, but it's long and a lot of times you've got it connected up like mine where it's all routed through and around, and I don't really want to undo it. So I've got an extra cable, so I'm gonna plug that in. The next thing you wanna do is make sure that you are in PC mode. When you first power it up, you're gonna have it, all the lights will be red, and on my system, it didn't show up. It said device unrecognized. Hold down the power button until the light around the power button turns white. Then the ASTRO Command Center should recognize it right away. And then you're gonna go into the settings. Now, you wanna go to the microphone settings. Inside the microphone settings, I personally choose the night setting. I don't know what it does, and I don't know if it does anything at all, but I picked the night setting. The other thing you're gonna notice is you've got two sliders here, and those sliders start out at least at half. I've seen all the way to the maximum before as well with those sliders. So it doesn't matter what the setting is at right now, you want to turn those down. So in my case, I turned them down all the way and then up one. So if you turn them down all the way, it actually disables the microphone, and you'll see that in the software. When you go all the way, it'll ghost it out to say, we're not gonna use that microphone at all. That's not what we're after. So then you turn it up one click so it just registers as a microphone. There's also the other option for the side audio, which I think that's to give you the ambient sound. You could turn that off. I didn't. I left that as well in the same setup to be +1. And then you just sync it to the device. And that's it. That's really it. That's all you need to do to fix your ASTRO Mixamp or your ASTRO A50 with a Mixamp built in so that it does not peak the mic. I know seeing is believing. So here I am after I've made the settings and testing the microphone audio. We're just gonna look at what the input volume is now compared to before. So you remember before we were peaking up here all the time? So now with it all the way down, we're gonna test it. So I'm gonna turn the mic on. Hello, 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 hello. This is a test of the microphone system on the PlayStation 5 with the volume, with the mic gain adjusted still at the lowest microphone level. And you can see where the peak comes to is about here. If I talk really loud, it peaks over here, but it doesn't distort. And I'm gonna show you that right now. So I'm gonna stick my microphone in here. When I talk really loud, it distorts. But if I just talk at regular volume, you can hear it's much clearer now. So I'm doing this at the same level with the mic turned all the way down. And talking at the same volume level, you can see that I'm not peaking as much and the sound is much more clear. The other thing you're gonna notice, when you initially have your headphones on and you're talking, you actually can hear feedback from your microphone into your headset while you're just navigating around the menu or in the game or anything. That's because this mic is so sensitive on the PlayStation 5 that it just picks up all that ambient sound and pumps that through. So that's gonna be the #1 complaint you get from everyone because they can hear everything going on around you and you can hear yourself. So it adds that little delay that makes you talk slower because you keep hearing feedback for yourself. After you make this change, that feedback disappears completely. You will not hear yourself through your own headphones except for when you are doing an audio test, a microphone adjustment test. That's the only time you'll hear yourself. The rest of the time, they hear you, you will not. You can see it is much clearer with the audio changes. The other thing to double check while you've got this plugged into your computer, you want to do a software update check. So in your settings, you can see where it'll say automatically perform an update check. If it does that and it says, hey, we've got new firmware for this, go ahead and download it. I'm running the latest firmware on this and it works fine on my PlayStation 5. So you can continue to do that with the updated firmware. The other thing you want to check if you've updated the firmware especially is on the tab where you set the default mode. You want to make sure that the default mode is set to the PlayStation 4 mode or the gaming mode and not the PC mode. Some people, when they update the firmware, it defaults back to PC mode, and that'll cause problems when you turn it on. And every time you turn it on, it'll be in PC mode, and that'll make the microphone not work at all. And I think that's some of the problems that some users have had when they follow my guides, which you saw up there. They get the audio, but they don't get the microphone. And that's why, because it's in PC mode. So make sure it's set to gaming mode and then sync your changes. Now would also be a good time to adjust your audio settings if you want. I have mine set so that the first audio setting is Astro rather than whatever it is normally. The Astro setting is pretty good for first-person shooters. It's a good balance of everything. And that's the mode that I prefer to have load at default. You can always play with your different modes or adjust them yourself, but that'll help you there. So that's really all there is to know about setting up your ASTRO Mixamp on your PlayStation 5. Like I said, this will work on your PlayStation 4. So if you're noticing that your sound is really loud on your PlayStation 4, do the exact same settings and it'll work on your PlayStation 4. But if you're happy with the sound, you can just leave it alone. If it is getting distorted and people are complaining while you're playing with them that you should turn it down and it's down all the way and it is not making the problem go away, this is the fix. Again, if you have a Gen 1 or a Gen 2, this will not work. This only works on a Gen 3, Gen 4, and the ASTRO A50s. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe below, hit the bell, hit the like, hit all that stuff, drive this up in YouTube so everyone else can find this video as well. Don't forget to check out some of the other videos that we've got right here. There's a lot of great videos on PlayStation 5 and Astros and all that sort of thing, but also some great videos in the automotive field and that sort of thing. We have a lot of fun doing road trips and how-tos and all that stuff. I'd love for you to enjoy that as well. So check those out. Hope to see you again, but until next time, have a great day.